Let's pray. Almighty God, who in your wisdom and goodness have appointed the offices of leaders and county assemblies for the welfare of society and the just government of the people, we beseech you to behold with your modern favor as your servants whom you've been pleased to call to the performance of your trust in this republic. Let your blessings descend upon us here assembled, and grant that we treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberation in so just and faithful a manner as to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of your country and of those whose interests you've committed to our church. Amen. Kindly take us through the order of the day.
Third Assembly, third session, order paper number 175 of today, Tuesday, 7th May 2024 at 2:30 p.m. Order number 1, administration of oath.
Next order.
Order number 2, communication from the chair.
Honorable members, I have got three communications to make. One, let me recognize the guests at the gallery who are students on attachment. These are Charity Kasai from Kenyatta University. You will be standing, okay, just, we have seen you, can have a seat. Who is taking a course on BA Public Policy and Administration. We have got Ruth Otiende, University of Kabianga, taking a course on Public Administration. We have got Gori Mokoth, Karatina University on Political Science and Public Administration. I think those are students on attachment in the County Assembly of Kisumu. Please feel welcomed. Number 2, I want to make a communication regarding the budget making process. I talked to the chair, budget committee. They have already developed a program, I think from 13th of May 2024. The sectional committees, together with their technical clerks, will have time to do analysis of the sectoral budgets. So from 13th, there shall be a timetable. I think, look at the schedule, the committee schedule. The committee shall be meeting. So if you get your time as a sectoral committee, please take advantage of that time. But apart from that one, we have agreed with them that each member of the county assembly to have access to the copy of the Kisumu County Budget Estimates 2024-2025. Members have a tendency of rushing very fast into the section for development projects. Please take your time and read the budget appropriately. I have also discussed with him that the executive will be submitting additional hard copies for each and every member. So when you get a copy, please ensure that the copy is within your ward office. Also ensure that the soft copy can be obtained by your residents early enough. We want to do things differently. Let's not have complaints of the public saying they didn't access the documents early enough. Lastly, I have a request from the Chair, Welfare Committee, Honorable Mildred. I think she will be speaking during statement time to reiterate the same. That tomorrow, Wednesday, the 8th of May 2024, immediately after the first session in the morning, we move together to condole with the family of Honorable Dianga, a pioneer member of North Seme, whom we lost, I think, some times back. So those who will have time, we can rush to Seme. The Honorable Welfare, who also, the Honorable Chairperson of Welfare Committee, who also happens to be coming from Seme Sub-County, will lead us. We can be there up to maybe midday or so, and come back for the afternoon session. I want to confirm that I will be going. Honorable Chair of Welfare Committee, I want to confirm that I will be going. So those who want us to go together, please, but I think it's important that we move and condole with the family and come back. For those who are contributing, I'm also reminded that I remind you that you send your contribution to Honorable Lawina Opar for purposes of conveying the same to the family when we go there tomorrow. Otherwise, welcome to this session. And next order, clerk.
Order number 3, messages.
Next.
Order number 4, petitions.
Next order.
Order number 5, papers.
Honorable Kennedy Ouko. Honorable Kennedy Ouko. I see you have got 3 papers to lay. I think you can do that one at once, all of them.
Speaker, I do apologize. I did not receive the papers myself, and I had communicated that they be deferred to another day. I had communicated. I don't know why it's still appearing.
I don't get you, Honorable Ouko, that you didn't receive the papers that you're supposed to lay.
Thank you. That is actually what happened.
Honorable Ouko, approach the chair. Yes, Honorable Ken Ouko.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for guidance. Pursuant to the provisions of order number 182/6 of the standing orders, I wish to table today, Tuesday, 7th May 2024, the report of the PICPAC Committee on the examination of the Auditor General's report and financial statement of Kisumu County Education Fund for the year ended 30th June 2021. Secondly, pursuant to the provision of order number 182/6 of the standing orders, I do table a report of Tuesday, 7th May 2024, the report of the PICPAC Committee on the examination of the Auditor General's report and financial statement of Kisumu County Education Fund for the year ended 30th June 2022. Again, 3, pursuant to the provisions of order number 182/6 of the standing orders, report of the Tuesday, 7th May 2024, the report of the PICPAC Committee on the examination of the Auditor General's report and financial statement of Kisumu County Trade Fund for the financial year 2020-2021. Thank you.
Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
Honorable Ken Ouko.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. That pursuant to the provisions of order number 45(1) of the standing orders, I wish to give a notice of motion that this House adopt a report of PICPAC Committee on the examination of the Auditor General's report and financial statement of Kisumu County Education Fund for the year ended 30th June 2021. Thank you. 2021. That pursuant to the provision of orders number 45(1) of the standing orders, I wish to give a notice of motion that this House adopt a report of PICPAC Committee on the examination of the Auditor General's report and financial statement of Kisumu County Education Fund for the year ended 30th June 2022. 3, that pursuant to the provisions of order number 45(1) of the standing orders, I wish to give a notice of motion that this House adopt a report of PICPAC Committee on the examination of the Auditor General's report and financial statements of Kisumu County Trade Fund for the financial year 2020-2021. Thank you.
Next order.
Order number 7, statements.
Honorable Nere.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise pursuant to orders number 42(2)C on behalf of the County Assembly Leader of Majority to present and lay on the table a statement informing the County Assembly of the businesses coming before the House on the following week. Honorable Speaker, this is therefore to bring the attention of members and the County Assembly that for the week commencing Wednesday 8th May to Tuesday 14th May 2024, the Select Committee on Assembly House Business at its last sitting approved the following tentative businesses to appear in the order paper. That on the Wednesday 8th May 2024, 8:30 a.m., the Majority Leader, Honorable Ken Ouko, will table the following papers. Report on financial statements of Kisumu County Revenue Fund for the period ended 31st March 2024. Number 2, report on financial statements for Kisumu County Executive for the period ended 31st March 2024. The Chairperson, Sectoral Committee on Trade, Tourism, Industry and Marketing, Honorable Alice Wajewa, will table a report on the petition into the alleged rogue leadership of Kibuye Market Management Committee, led by Mrs. Judith Adhiambo Matengo. On the statements, Honorable Speaker, honorable members, the MCA for Manyata B Ward, Honorable Nereo Kombo, will seek a statement pursuant to orders number 41-2B on the matter of recent demolitions within the city and allocations of county premises to individual business operators. On Wednesday, 8th May 2024 at 2 p.m., the substantive business for the day, the chairperson of Peak Park Committee, Honorable Ken Ouko, will move a motion for adoption of its report on examination of the Auditor General report and final statement for Kisumu County Trade Fund for the financial year 2020-2021. On Thursday, 9th May 2024 at 2:30 p.m., there are papers that to be laid. That is, the chairperson of Peak Park Committee, Kennedy Ouko, will table reports on examination of Auditor General report and financial statements of Ahero County Hospital for the financial year ended 30th June 2022. On the notices of motion, the chairperson, Peak Park Committee, Honorable Kennedy Ouko, will move notices of motion that this House adopts its report on consideration of the Auditor General report and financial statements of Ahero County Hospital for the financial year ended 30th June 2022. And on that day, the substantive agenda will be the chairperson of the Sectoral Committee on Education, Technical Training, Innovation and Social Services, Honorable Seth Okumu, will move a motion for adoption of its report on consideration of annual reports and financial statements of Kisumu County Education Fund for the financial year ended 30th June 2023. On Tuesday, 9th May 2024 at 2:30 p.m., there will be a statement by the Leader of Majority on the businesses coming before the County Assembly for the week commencing Wednesday, 15th May 2024. The substantive agenda of the day, the chairperson, Peak Park Committee, Honorable Kennedy Ouko, will move a motion for adoption of its report on examination of Auditor General's report and financial statements for Kombewa Hospital for the financial year ended 30th June 2022. Thank you.
It is statement time. Next order.
Commencement of business. Order number 8, motion by Peak Park Committee on examination of the Auditor General's report and financial statements of Nyakach County Level 4 Hospital for the financial year ended 30th June 2022 by the Honorable Kennedy Ouko.
Honorable.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. On behalf of the Public Accounts and Investment Committee, Peak Park, and pursuant to the Kisumu County Assembly Standing Orders 188, I wish to present to this House the report of the Committee on the audited financial statement of Nyakach County Level 5 Hospital, financial year 2021-2022. The County Assembly exercises oversight over county government entity, stock investments, and their expenditure pursuant to Article 185.3 of the Constitution of Kenya 2010 through the Public Accounts and Investment Committee, which in turn derives its mandates from the County Assembly Standing Orders. It is instructive that Article 229.8 of the Constitution of Kenya 2010 requires the County Assembly, within 3 months after receiving an audit report, to debate, consider the report, and take appropriate action. The committee held 2 sittings during which it received both written and oral evidence from the accounting officers on audit queries raised by the Auditor General on the financial statement of Nyakach County Level 5 Hospital financial year 2021-2022. Honorable Speaker, I wish to register my appreciation to the following honorable members of the committee, the Office of the Speaker, and the Clerk of the Assembly, the Committee Secretariat, and the Office of the Auditor General for the facilitation and technical support that made the production of this report possible. I also thank the management of Nyakach County Level 4 Hospital for honoring committee invitations and timely submissions of the responses. Special appreciation goes to the Hansard Department for ensuring that all our meetings with accounting officers are broadcast live. Honorable Speaker, on behalf of the Public Accounts and Investment Committee, I now wish to table the report on the consideration of the Auditor General's report on the financial statement of the Nyakach County Level 4 Hospital for the year ended 30th June 2022, and I urge this Honorable House to adopt it. A legal framework and guiding principle. Honorable Speaker, the committee was guided by the following legal instruments. 1, Constitution of Kenya 2010, Article 229(4) of the Constitution of Kenya 2010 requires the Auditor General, within a period of 6 months after the end of each financial year, to audit and report in respect of that financial year on 1, the account of the national and county government, the accounts of all funds and authorities of the national and county government, accounts of all courts, 4, the accounts of every commission and independent office established by this constitution, 5, the accounts of National Assembly, the Senate, and the county, the accounts of National Assembly, the Senate, and the county assemblies, 6, the account of the political parties funded from the public fund, 7, the public debt, 8, the accounts of any other entity, and that legislation requires the Auditor General to audit. Article 229(8) further states that within 3 months after receiving an audit report, Parliament or County Assembly shall debate and consider the report and take appropriate action. 2, the committee also relied on Article 226(5) of the Constitution of Kenya 2010, which says that if the holder of the office, of a public office, including a political office, directs or approves the use of public fund contrary to law or instructions, the person is liable for any loss arising from that use and shall make good the loss, whether the person remains the holder of the office or not. 3, Public Audit 2015. Section 7 of the Public Audit Act 2015 states that that mandates the Auditor General to 1, give assurance on the effectiveness of the internal control, risk management, and overall governance of national and county government. 2, undertake audit activities in state organs and public entities to confirm whether or not public money has been applied lawfully and in effective way. 4, Public Finance Management Act 2012. Section 149(1) of the Public Finance Management Act 2012, which states that an accounting officer is accountable to the county assembly for ensuring that the resources of the entity for which the officer is designated are used in a way that is 1, lawful and authorized, B, effective, efficient, economical, and transparent. Guiding principle. Madam Speaker, in the execution of mandate, the committee was guided by core constitutional and statutory principles on public finance management. These principles include the following. 1, constitutional principle on public finance. Article 201 of the Constitution of Kenya 2010 provides for the fundamental principle aimed at guiding all aspects of public finance. It says that the principles are interlayered. 1, openness and accountability, including public participation in financial matters. 2, public money shall be used in a prudent and a responsible way. 3, financial management shall be responsible and fiscal reporting shall be clear. 2, obligations of the accounting officer. Article 226(2) of the Constitution of Kenya 2010, which provides that the accounting officer of the national public entity is accountable to the National Assembly for its financial management, and the accounting officer of the county public entity is accounted to the county assembly for its financial management. 2, Section 149(1) of the Public Finance Management Act 2012 provides that an accounting officer is accountable to the county assembly for ensuring that the resources of the entity for which the officer is designated are used in a way that is, one, lawful, authorized, and effective, efficient, and transparent. 3, direct personal liability. Article 226(5) of the Constitution is equivocal that if the holder of the public office or political office direct or approve the use of public fund contrary to the law or instructions, the person is liable to any laws arising from that use and shall make good the laws, whether the person remains the office holder or not. 4, Section 2031 of the Public Finance Management Act 2012 enacts that a public officer is personally liable for any loss sustained by county government and is attributed to, 1, the fraudulent or corrupt conduct or negligence of the officer, or the officer having done any act prohibited by Section 196, 197, 198. The committee considered these legal provisions as the basis for holding accounting and public officers directly and personally liable for any loss of public fund that may have occurred under their watch. Honorable Speaker, the Auditor General gave adverse opinion on the finance statement of Nyakachi, County Level 5 Hospital Financial Year 2021-2022. This means that the financial year 2021-2022 for the financial statement of this hospital did not present a true and fair view of the financial position of the hospital. In a layman's language, public resources may have not been utilized in prudent manner and according to the existing laws. Honorable Speaker, this might have compromised the quality of health services provided to the people by the hospital. Honorable Speaker, Dr. Edon Nyagudi Utieno, the medical superintendent, and the accounting officer appeared before the committee on 4th April 2024 at 9:30 a.m. to adduce evidence on the audited financial statement of the Nyakachi County Level 5 Hospital for the year ended 30th June 2022. The following officers accompanied the medical superintendent: Mr. Abraham Abuto, hospital administrator, to Mr. Ezekiel Ononga, accountant. The following officers represented the Office of the Auditor General in the meeting on 4th April 2024 at 9:30 a.m. 1, Mr. Kennedy Ungoi, Office of the Auditor General. 2, Mrs. Margaret Muwage, Office of the Auditor General. Basis for the advice opinion. Honorable Speaker, the following audit queries formed the basis of advice opinion. 3.1, non-compliance with the Public Sector Accounting Standard Board reporting requirement. Honorable Speaker, in this case, the management of Nyakachi County Level 5 Hospital failed to adhere to Public Finance Management Act 2012, Section 164(1), which states that at the end of each financial year, the accounting officer for a county government entity shall prepare a financial statement in respect of the entity in a format to be prescribed by the Accounting Standard Board. 3.2, unaccounted for assets in the financial statement. The Auditor General highlighted in her report that the management failed to disclose the value of property, plant, equipment, intangible assets, investment, property, and inventory in the financial statement of the financial year 2021-2022. 3.3, and reconcile variance in transfer from county government. The financial statement of the hospital reflected transfer from the county government amounting to Kenya shillings 8,073,241, which was at variance with the balance of Kenya shillings 5,576,651 reflected as transfer in the county executive financial statement. 3.4, misstatement of trade payables. That the management failed to explain the variance amounting to Kenya shillings 1,783,740 between the notes and the financial statement in regard to trade and other payable as at the time of audit and committee deliberations. 3.5, unsupported bank balance. The management failed to adhere to the provision of paragraph 91 of Public Finance Management Regulation 2015, which states that the accounting officer shall ensure bank account reconciliations are completed for each bank account held by the accounting officer every month and submit a bank reconciliation statement not later than 10th of the subsequent month to the county treasury with a copy to the Auditor General. 3.6, unsupported rendering of services, medical service income amount. The management violated the provisions of paragraph 63.1 of the Public Finance Management Regulations 2015, which states that an accounting officer and a receiver of the revenue are personally responsible for ensuring that adequate safeguard exists and are applied for the prompt collection and proper accounting for all county government revenue, and that public money related to their relating to their county departments or agencies. 3.7, variances between the financial statement and supporting schedule. That the management failed to support expenditure totaling to 474,160 with relevant documents and schedule during the time of audit and committee deliberations. The expenditure include food ratios, Kenya shillings 25,000, dressing and non-pharmaceutical, Kenya shillings 34,410, sanitary and cleansing of Kenya shillings 13,300, general office supplies, Kenya shillings 160,200, printing and stationery, Kenya shillings 179,250, telephone and mobile phone services, Kenya shillings 62,000. That the management failed to provide evidence to support transfer of Kenya shillings 500,000 to MOH during the time of audit and committee deliberations. 3.8, inaccuracies in statement of financial position. That the management failed to adhere to section 164.3 of the Public Finance Management Act 2012, which states that the accounting officer shall prepare the financial statement in a form that complies with relevant accounting standard prescribed and published by the Accounting Standard Board from time to time. 4.0, report on lawfulness and effectiveness in the use of public resources. 4.1, incomplete assets register. That the management did not maintain an updated asset register, contrary to Regulation 136.2 of the Public Finance Management, that is the County Government Regulations 2015, which provides that the register of the land and building shall record each parcel of land and each building and the term on which it is held. 4.2, irregular management of interest. That the management did not maintain an interest register as required by Regulation 93.4C of the Public Finance Management, that is County Government, Regulation 2015, there is national and there is county government, 2015, which states that before issuing a temporary impress under paragraph 2, the accounting officer shall ensure that the applicant's impress has been recorded in the impress register, including the amount applied for. That the management also issue impress to an officer on behalf of other staff, contrary to Regulation 91.2, which requires an officer authorized to hold and operate an impress to make formal application for impress through an impress warrant. 5.0, report on effectiveness of the internal control, risk management and governance. 5.1, long outstanding trade and other payables. The management accrued a debt amounting to Kenya shillings 1,244,375 shillings relating to the year 2020 and earlier years. That the management had outstanding trade and other payable amounting to Kenya shillings 450,775 as at 30th June 2022. The management failed to repay the above debt on the first charge basis. Contrary to Regulation 41(2) of the Public Finance Management Act, that is County Government, Regulation 2/2015, which states that debt service payment shall be a first charge on the county revenue fund, and the accounting officer shall ensure that this is done to the extent possible that the county government does not default on debt obligations. 5.2, control weakness in revenue collections. That the hospital maintain its financial state record, including cash book, larger in manual form, despite having a financial management system, FundSoft. That there is no evidence of daily reconciliation between the revenue recorded in the financial information system and M-Pesa statement transactions. 5.3, weak control in inventory management. That the facility inventory system revealed the following weaknesses: lack of technical training for the clerical officer managing the store, the absence of role segregation resulting in lack of checks and balances in stock management, and an automated store system compared to the automated pharmacy. 5.4, weaknesses in the filing system. Committee observation, that the committee did not maintain a proper and systematic filing system for both financial and procurement record. Failure to meet level 4 hospital requirement. 1, that the hospital did not meet a number of key specifications as prescribed by the Kenya Quality Model for Health Policy Guideline with reference to their medical personnel staffing. 2, that the hospital does not offer all services required of a level 4 hospital, such as surgical unit, renal dialysis, intensive care unit, high dependency unit, while the X-ray and the ultrasound machines had broken down. 3, that the hospital had no procurement officer or an accountant. Summary of the observations. Honorable Speaker, the committee, having considered the management responses and having held a meeting with the management of the hospital and the Office of the Auditor General, makes the following observation. 1, that the management failed to adhere to Public Finance Management Act 2012, Section 164, which states that at the end of each financial year, the accounting officer for a county government entity shall prepare financial statement in respect of the entity in a format to be prescribed by the Accounting Standard Board. 2, that there was lack of qualified accountant in the management of Nyakach Sub-County Hospital to assist in proper preparation of financial statement. 3, that the management failed to disclose the value of property, plant, equipment, intangible assets, investment property, inventory in the financial statement of the financial year 2021-2022 for the lack of value. The management submitted that they had reached Health Department to assist in engaging a valuer. However, the management failed to provide evidence to this effect. 4, that the management failed to explain the variance amounting to Kenya shillings 1,783,740 shillings between the notes and the financial statement in regards to trade and other payable as at the time of audit and committee deliberations. 5, that the management failed to adhere to the provision of paragraph 91 of the Public Finance Management Regulation 2015, which states that the accounting officer shall ensure bank account reconciliations are completed for each bank account held by the accounting officer every month and submit a bank reconciliation statement not later than 10th of the subsequent month to the county treasury with a copy to the Auditor General. 6, that the management violated the provision of paragraph 663(1) of the Public Finance Management Regulation 2015, which states that an accounting officer and a receiver of revenue are personally responsible for ensuring that adequate safeguard exists and are applied to the prompt for the prompt collection of proper accounting for all county government revenue and other public monies relating to their county departments or agencies. 7, that the management failed to adhere to the section 164.3 of the Public Finance Management Act 2012, which states that the accounting officer shall prepare the finance statement in a form that complies with the relevant accounting standard prescribed and published by the Accounting Standard Board from time to time. That the management did not maintain a register, that's number 8, that the management did not maintain a register of land and buildings contrary to Regulation 136(2) of the Public Finance Management Act, that is now County Government Regulation 2015, which provides that the register of land and buildings shall record each parcel of land and each building and the term on which it is held. 9, that the management failed to support expenditure totaling to Kenya shillings 474,160 with relevant documents and schedules during the time of audit and committee deliberations. The expenditure include food, ratio of Kenya shillings 25,000, dressing and pharmaceuticals 34,410, sanitary, cleansing and cleaning of 13,300, general office supplies of Kenya shillings 160,200, printing and stationery at 179,250, telephone services of 62,000. 10, that the management failed to provide evidence to support transfer of Kenya shillings 500,000 to the MOH during the time of audit and committee deliberations. 11, that the management did not maintain an impress register as required by Regulation 93(4)(c) of the Public Finance Management Act, County Government Regulations 2015, which stipulates that before issuing a temporary impress under paragraph 2, the accounting officer shall ensure that the applicant's impress has been recorded in the impress register, including the amount applied for. 12, that the management issue impress to an officer on behalf of the staff, contrary to Regulation 91(2), which requires an officer authorized to hold and operate an impress to make formal application for impress through an impress warrant. 13, the management accrued debt amounting to Kenya shillings 1,244,375 relating to the year 2020 and earlier years. 14, that the management had outstanding trade and trade payable amounting to Kenya shillings 2,450,775 as at 30th June 2022. 15, that the management failed to repay the amount to the above debt on first charge basis, contrary to Regulation 41(2) of the Public Finance Management Act, County Government Regulations 2015, which states that the debt service payment shall be a first charge on the county revenue fund, and accounting officer shall ensure that this is done to the extent possible that the county government does not default on debt obligations. 16, that the hospital maintain its financial record, including cash book and ledgers in the manual form, despite having a financial management system called FundSoft. 17, that there is no evidence of daily reconciliation between the revenue recorded in the financial information system and the M-Pesa statement transactions. 18, that the facility inventory system revealed the following weaknesses: the lack of technical training for the clerical officers managing the store, the absence of role segregation resulting in lack of checks and balances in stock management, and a non-automated store system compared to the automated pharmacy. 19, that the hospital did not maintain a proper and systematic filing system for both financial and procurement record. 20, that the hospital did not meet a number of key specifications as prescribed by the Kenya Quality Model for Health Policy Guideline with reference to their medical personnel staffing. 21, that during the year financial year 2021-2022, the hospital was not offering services required of a level 4 hospital, such as surgical unit, renal dialysis, intensive care unit, high dependency unit, while the X-ray and ultrasound machine had broken down. Number 22, that the hospital had no procurement officer or an accountant. Summary of committee recommendations. 1, that pursuant to Article 226(5) of the Constitution of Kenya 2010, which states that if the holder of the public office or political office direct or approve the use of public fund contrary to the law or instructions, the person is liable for any loss arising from the use and shall make good the loss. And whether the person remains the office holder or not, the accounting officer, Department of Medical Services, Public Health and Sanitation immediately initiate a recovery of 971,160 related to unsupported expenditure of Kenya shillings 474,160 and unsupported transfer of MAH amounting to 500,000 from Dr. Agwanda. The then medical superintendent or the accounting officer and submit a report on the same to the assembly within a period of 90 days upon adoption of this report. 2, going forward, the management must adhere to the requirement of section 164(1) of the Public Finance Management Act 2012, which require accounting officer for accounting government entity to prepare financial statement in respect of the entity in a format to be prescribed by the Accounting Standard Board. 3, that the Department of Medical Services, Public Health and Sanitation immediately deploy a qualified accountant to the hospital to support in the financial statement of the hospital. A report on the deployment be submitted to the Assembly within a period of 60 days upon adoption of this report. 4, that the accounting officer, Department of Medical Services, Public Health and Sanitation immediately initiates the process of valuation of assets in the hospital and report on the same to be submitted to this Assembly within a period of 90 days upon adoption of this report. 5, that going forward, the management of the hospital must adhere to the paragraph 90, bracket 1 of the Public Finance Management Regulation 2015, which states that the accounting officer shall ensure bank account reconciliations are completed for each bank account held by that accounting officer every month and submit a bank reconciliation statement not later than the 10th of the subsequent month to the country treasury with a copy to the Auditor General. 6, that going forward, the management must adhere to the provision of paragraph 63(1) of the Public Finance Management Regulation 2015, which states that an accounting officer and a receiver of revenue are personally responsible for ensuring that adequate safeguard exists and applied for the prompt collection and proper accounting for all county government revenue and other public money relating to their accounting departments or agencies. 7, that going forward, the management must ensure that the financial statement reflect the true and fair position of the hospital as required by section 164(3) of the Public Finance Management Act 2012, which states that the accounting officer shall prepare the financial statement in a form that complies with the relevant accounting standard prescribed and published by the Accounting Standard Board from time to time. 8, that going forward, the management must adhere to provision of Regulation 136(2) of the Public Finance Management Act, County Government Regulations 2015, which provide that the register of the land and the building shall record each parcel and land and each building and the term on which it is held. 9, that going forward, the management must adhere to the provision of Regulation 93(4) of the Public Finance Management Act, County Government Regulations 2015, which requires an officer authorized to hold and operate an impress to make a formal application to the impress through an impress warrant. 10, that going forward, the management must adhere to Regulation 91(2) of the Public Finance Management County Government Regulation 2015, which states that the accounting officer shall ensure that bank account reconciliations are completed for each bank account held by the accounting officer every month and submitted to bank reconciliation statement not later than 10th of the subsequent month to the county treasurer and with a copy to the Auditor General. 11, the CEC member finance, ICT, and economic planning constitute a task force within 30 days upon adoption of this report to ascertain the accuracy and the value of the pending bills for the hospital as at 30th June 2022. That report of the task force be submitted to this assembly within 90 days upon constitution of the task force. 12, that the management is hereby instructed to immediately suspend any further payment related to the said pending bill until the outcome of the process is determined. 13, that going forward, the management must adhere to Regulation 41(2) of the Public Finance Management Act, County Government Regulations 2015, which states that the debt service payment shall be the first charge on the county revenue fund, and the accounting officer shall ensure that this is done to the extent possible that the county government does not default on debt obligation. 14, that going forward, the hospital management must maintain its financial record, including cash book and ledgers in financial management system, FANSOP. 15, that going forward, the management must ensure daily reconciliation between the revenue recorded in the financial information system and M-Pesa statement transaction. 16, that the accounting officer to the facility demonstrate to the assembly by way of report corrective measures taken to ensure proper inventory management of the facility within 90 days upon adoption of this report. 17, that going forward, the management must ensure proper and systematic filing system for both financial and procurement record in the facility. 18, that accounting officer, Department of Medical Services, Public Health, and Sanitation demonstrate to this assembly by way of report corrective measures that is taken to adhere to the Kenya Quality Model for Health Policy Guideline within 60 days upon adoption of this report. Those are the recommendations. That the Department of Medical Services, Public Health and Sanitation immediately deployed a qualified procurement officer and accountant to the hospital to support the facility in the financial management. A report on the deployment be submitted to the Assembly within a period of 60 days upon adoption of this report. Madam Speaker, I hereby request that the House adopt this report of the Public Accounts and Investment Committee on the consideration of Auditor General's report on the financial statement of the Nyakach County Level 4 Hospital for the year ended 30th June 2022. May I call upon Honorable Seth Okumu to second. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Seth Okumu.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I rise to second the motion for adoption of the report by the Public Accounts and Investment Committee on their consideration of Auditor General's report on Nyakach Sub-County Hospital. Madam Speaker, that report is very, very, very elaborate. Very elaborate. Madam Speaker, last time I was moving a motion here, I talked about financial statements. And Madam Speaker, if we don't have follow-up on the financial statements, That is the kind of report we have when the Auditor General now do their work. Madam Speaker, now that the report is here, it is very clear, Madam Speaker, and I've been to Nyakach Sub-County Hospital. I was here when the auditor was presenting together with the management of the facility. It is true that as a county government, we have made this hospital procuring entities, but we have not provided for the necessary support that they need for them to become. Like my chair has just said, that in this hospital, yes, we do have an accounting officer who is the med sup. But given the submission that he brought before the committee, he acts like he's also the cashier, he's also the doctor treating people, he's also the accountant, only because we have not provided for staff. But Madam Speaker, the law does not know that. The law wants you that once you are given that portfolio, then you are responsible for the management of all the finances that is coming to that facility. So as much as the county government did not provide for the support, but the buck stops with the accounting officer. Madam Speaker, the committee has provided for a raft of recommendations. Some might not be specific because we were very considerate as we were making these recommendations. We know several things have gone wrong in that facility, but we believe most of them were not deliberate. Some of them were happening because of the support that they did not have as a facility. Madam Speaker, that's why we are recommending a lot of changes going forward, including having accountants for this facility who can help them prepare these financial statements for the auditor. Madam Speaker, it's true that we have a system for collection of funds. We have been using Safaricom for collection of funds, including these hospitals. But Madam Speaker, as you can see, our system of FundSoft sometimes fails. And when it fails, then making financial statements become a problem. Madam Speaker, I want to give a case of Miranga. And in this one, I'm going to make reference to Safaricom. When you go to Miranga Sub-County Hospital, and then you are going to be treated, and then you want to pay, and then there's no network, then sometimes the money we are supposed to get from NHIF, we miss on getting them because the system does not recognize the patient that you have treated. And you only charge them after finishing. And then this culminates into the report that we are having. So you have treated a patient, you have used drugs, you have spent money, but when the auditor comes, you cannot prove because of something that was beyond you. Madam Speaker, on matters that we feel that they were responsible for, we have provided for very, very specific recommendations that we feel need to be implemented. Our intention as a committee is to ensure that there is prudent use of resources that we give these facilities. Madam Speaker, if that can happen, we can really improve on service provision, especially on issues of health. Madam Speaker, I rise second. I was there when the report is being written. I don't want to say much. I want to give it to members who are not in this committee to provide more recommendations so that we can have a report that is implementable and that increases our service provision to the people of Kisumu. Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. I rise to second the motion for adoption.
Honorable members, a report on the Auditor General on the financial statements for Nyakach County Level 4 Hospital for the year ended 30th June 2023 has been properly moved and seconded. I therefore want to propose that the report be open for discussion. Honorable Peter Obaso.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, let me start by commending the committee for a job well done and for this elaborate report. Madam Speaker, as you can see, this medical facility is a mess, starting from human resource, financial management, is a mess all over. And through this, we can see and explain variables, unexplained variance in their finances, interest, unexplained interest, which cannot be accounted for, and many others. Madam Speaker, as a county, we've been really struggling to meet our target relating to on-source revenue. And I think through this, we can see that we are really losing a lot of money in these facilities. So it's high time that whoever is responsible, the admin, the superintendents, should be held accountable for these unexplained variances in terms of finance. Madam Speaker, I want to urge that the whole system in this facility needs an overhaul in the system of this facility. With those few remarks, Madam Speaker, I beg to support this report. Thank you.
Honorable Millicent Ajumbo.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I stand to support the report by the Public Accounts and Investment Committee on the Auditor General's report of June ended year 2022 June, yeah? Madam Speaker, I want to say there are several reports that have been brought to this assembly by the same committee with very good recommendations, Madam Speaker. And I wanted to start by saying that health is wealth, and as long as we have our health taken care of, then we will have time to focus on our businesses and other things, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, when you look at the requirements in this country of a level 4 hospital, I would say that most of our sub-county hospitals, they fall short of that requirements, because level 4 requirements, you need a surgical unit, you need a renal unit, and you need an intensive care unit, and many others that I have not mentioned. But when you look at the Nyakach Sub-County Hospital, Madam Speaker, this hospital is lacking a lot of facilities that can be given to the sick people. No wonder we do not have in this hospital an accountant, there is no procurement officer. So it means that it is given the name level 4 hospital, but it does not meet the requirement of a level 4 hospital. So I just want to, I looked at some of the recommendations from the committee. I just want to say, Madam Speaker, now that we have our iPad, I can refer to the recommendation number 16. It's recommendation number 18, that the accounting officer, the Department of Medical Services, Public Health and Sanitation, demonstrate to this assembly by way of a report corrective measures taken to adhere to the Kenya Quality Model for Health Policy Guidelines within 60 days upon adoption of this report. And I want to say I don't agree with the committee recommendations. This committee knows very well that this hospital does not measure up to the level 4 hospital, yet they are coming up with recommendation 18, that within 60 days, the accounting officer or the medical department should come up with a corrective measure. How do you come up with a corrective measure when a hospital has no renal unit, has no surgical unit, nothing that meets the standards? So maybe only, and a number of recommendations that may not be made within 90 days, Madam Speaker. But I just want to say that this committee has worked so hard. By looking at these reports, Madam Speaker, they come up with good recommendations, but these recommendations cannot see the light of day because you cannot even imagine that within those number of days, there'll be corrective measures in these hospitals. So, Madam Speaker, I stand to support the committee. They do a very good job, Madam Speaker, but as soon as it's read here, we stand up, we give our comments. That hospital, the books will be closed. Next time they'll come up with another hospital. We will stand up here, give a recommendation, close it, go to the next hospital. I think there's a way that we need to put our matters of health seriously in this county. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Ajumbo. Coming up with a corrective measure could also mean that the accounting officer rethinks of the facility being accorded the level 4 status. So that could be a corrective measure, but I would have wished that you made a clear recommendation on your suggestion on the same. Otherwise, we appreciate. Honorable James Were.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I also rise to support this report. Madam Speaker, seeing that our level 4 hospitals are being audited for the first time is also a milestone, Madam Speaker. And Madam Speaker, I think by going through the first audit, I think there is room for improvement. And Madam Speaker, considering a lot of audit queries that came, it means that if we put a lot of emphasis and a lot of force to ensure that the management of this Nyakach level 4 hospital if they improve and put things according to what is required of them, Madam Speaker, I think we shall be somewhere. Madam Speaker, if I pick on some few issues that were touched by the report, like we realized that there were no clear evidences that impress were being maintained. Mr. Speaker, it also came clear that we had unqualified staff. There was no qualified accountant and procurement officers. That was also taking us back. Madam Speaker, there was also weakness, control weakness in revenue collection. If we don't maximize on our revenue, it means we are not going to have a lot or enough resources to put into maybe buying medicines, doing the equipments, even paying our subordinate staff. And Madam Speaker, I think we are going to ensure, and I want to implore on this Honorable House to ensure that the executive are put to task to ensure that implementation is done according to what is recommended. Madam Speaker, there was also clear indication that there were failure by the management to follow the Public Finance Management Act. And I think this was attributed to the fact that maybe there was no qualified accountant, and those who worked on the financial statements were not qualified enough. Madam Speaker, we also realized that there were a lot of mistakes that were done, and a lot of recoveries are supposed to be done. Madam Speaker, we want to ensure that this is pushed to the letter, so that all the monies that should have been that prudent management should have been done is done, so that if there is any money that was lost, it is supposed to be recovered. Madam Speaker, I beg to support this report. Thank you.
I can see the House has gone silent. If we don't have any further submissions, can we have someone to call the mover to reply? Yes, Honorable Kennedy. Tom Onditi. Mheshimiwa Miwani Ward.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. I think two things are...
Honorable Tom Onditi. Honorable Tom Onditi, you are representing Ombei Ward, not Miwani. Go ahead, Honorable Mheshimiwa.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I think your specs and memories need to be a bit... they're taking you badly. Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, judging by the mood of the House, may I call the mover to reply? Thank you.
Thank you, honorable members. Now that the report on the Auditor General's on the financial statements for Nyakach County Level 4 Hospital for the year ended 30th June 2022 has been moved, seconded. I've jumped the gun, honorable members. Honorable members, the mover has been called to reply, and I'm asking the Honorable Kennedy Ouko, Chair PICPAC, to reply.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. You know, mistake is to a human being. You are also a human being. We excuse you for that. Thank you. Really, I appreciate all the members and the kind of support given to this committee. From the time we were in our committees and now bringing a motion in the House, I understand that this is now a collective responsibility. It is not only for PICPAC. As you know, this is an oversight committee dealing mainly with financial matters of the County Assembly of Kisumu. So this is a collective responsibility. Don't leave it to the only PICPAC. Now, you can see we had a lot of challenges while getting submissions from the accounting officers. And now you know what informs a financial statement. It is the trial balance. Actually, the debit side and the credit side. When you ask these people where is your trial balance, which actually informed the financial statement, they could not produce. So we realized they had a challenge. One challenge which they had, having an accounting officer who is not well versed with the financial matters. That is the superintendent. A medical officer, and you know the requirements of having an accounting officer in hospitals. He or she must be a medical officer. This is another challenge. So that is why, that is actually what informed the committee to bring a recommendation, which is very clear and conditional that the department must deploy an accountant in this hospital to help the facility. That is one thing. We realize we have a lot of inaccuracies and variances which could not be explained. This is just because somebody was sitting somewhere, probably to cook the account or the financial statements. So that also falls in the line of accountant. We also had some problems like we don't have a procurement officer, and some staffs are incompetent. We realized they don't have any policy of continuous training of staff within the facility. Some could not even manage to operate this FANSOP, this payment system. So we had a lot of problems in this hospital. I think it is in order. It is not orderly. It is not orderly for a member to dismiss the committee report, but you can improve it. That is why we are bringing this. We do bring this report to the assembly, so that you do away with it. We would have just sent it direct to the executive or to the concerned people, but we can't do it. We must bring it here. So this is an opportunity for you people to do any kind of amendment to suit the situation, not lamenting. I hope next time you will not be lamenting the way you have lamented. You also realize these are the first hospitals we get into. Imagine, apart from renal unit or high dependency unit, which, or the ICU, even if those are not there, but you find the ultrasound machine is broken. The X-ray machine is also not there. These are basic, we call them basic things for level 4 hospitals. They are not there. So you can imagine how people are struggling. Coming from Nyakach probably to Ahero, or probably to New Nyanza, the cost in terms of transport, fare, such kind of things. So as it is our mandate now to push the executive to act on these things. I hope you will give us a good report. And probably the buck also stops with the implementation committee. I don't know whether the members of implementation committee also are in the house plus their chair, but it's a challenge. At least you have to do something. Even if you are jogging in the kind of work you are doing, but you can see the kind of recommendations we have. At least we should be having even 30% of our reports being implemented through your committee. I'm asking in good faith. I don't degrade anybody, and actually I don't see somebody not to be working, but I'm just asking that for us to be seen to be working and doing the oversight role, the implementation committee should work on this. Thank you, Madam Speaker. I beg to reply. Thank you.
Honorable members, now the report of the Auditor General on the financial statements for Nyakach Sub-County Level 4 Hospital for the year ended 30th June has been moved, seconded, debated upon, and replied on. I want to put a question of adoption that may, as many are of the opinion, that the report together with the recommendations therein be adopted, say aye. May as many are contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it. And the report on the Auditor General report on the financial statements for the Nyakach County Level 4 Hospital for the year ended 30th June 2024 has been adopted today, Tuesday, 7th May 2024 at 16:07 hours. And I want to recommend that the report, together with the answer, be prepared and forwarded to the respective departments for action, and the implementation committee should make sure that the recommended timelines within the report are adhered to. And I want to say that the Procedure and Rules Committee in its sitting yesterday adopted the session for questions and answers for the executive. But before then, implementation committee make sure that the recommendations, the timelines given within the report are adhered with. Next order.
Thank you, Madam. Thank you, Madam Speaker and all members. There's no any other business to be transacted in the order paper.
Honorable members, there being no any other business, the House stands adjourned until tomorrow, 8th May 2024 at 9 a.m.